What's up, you guys? So today we're going to be doing a tour review on the Jurassic World Epic Evolution Series 3 Minis.
Wait, what?
Alright, so I'm going to be flat out honest with you guys. I just kind of took that case. Well, I mean, I didn't, steal it. I was allowed to, keep it because, it was one of the 3 cases that they had. But, yeah, I'm not buying all these minis because I pretty much have all of them now. I mainly got it just for the box, so, yeah. And I didn't actually really intend to get the case, I just saw that they had them and I wanted it. Plus, it's got a pretty nice shade of blue, so, before we get into the actual minis themselves, I noticed that no one really reviewed these yet. The only other review I found was in Spanish, so this is for the English folks out there. But anyways, so let's just take a look at this, shall we? So, here we have the ginormous Jurassic World logo on the box. Along with the Minis logo, we got Series 3, and then we got the Jurassic World title for ages 3 and up by Mattel and all the warnings. And on the front, well, no, not the top, this is all the minis that you'll be getting. I will be listing the codes on this corner, just in case I forget what the codes are for some of these guys. I only remember 2 of them, so I won't even say the codes physically, but they'll be up there. And over here is just some serial information that, And on the back, same deal. And on this side, we got the Jurassic World minis and stuff. And on the bottom is just more information and hundreds of thousands of languages. So, yeah. And there's one of the codes, which you'll see in a bit. So, yeah, let's get into reviewing these things. Alrighty, so to start off the review of all the minis, we're going to be starting off with the green T-Rex. Now, in case you're wondering where to get these minis, I recommend going to Aldi to find them. They had 3 cases in my area. Well, 2 full cases and 1 case that was mostly empty. I had less than 8 boxes in it, and I remember correctly. But, yeah, definitely try Aldi. They're pretty good with their minis. Which is good, because all the toys that they sell are mystery minis. But anyways, so the T-Rex is really nice. It's actually one of my favorite ones. Well, one of my many favorites. And I do gotta advise you guys, if you are going to be getting these minis, you're more so going to likely get this. Which, I mean, yes, it does look the exact same, and in fact, it actually has a lot more detail than this one, which the detail is quite matted on this one, meanwhile they actually gave this thing detail. And to be honest, I kind of prefer the matted detail. It looks a bit better, because, I mean, first of all, they gave this thing beady eyes, which, I mean, I don't know how in the world they managed to do that. And overall, it just looks kind of off. But, I mean, I'm not stopping you if you're going to try to get any of these minis. But anyways, as I said, the code will be up on this top left corner. And the T-Rex is pretty nice. The mouth can open and close, and that's pretty much it for this figure. And next up is the Mosasaurus. And this is pretty much the only other reason why you would try to get these minis in the first place. This thing can also be found in the Chaos Theory mini pack. And maybe the Chaos Theory Advent Calendar, I don't know, I haven't checked it yet. Mainly because I'm waiting for December, because I got mine, almost a month ago. So, I gotta wait till December. But anyways, so this is a very downscaled version of the previous Mosasaurus from the Mosasaurus Mayhem pack. And as you can see, it's small compared to the other one. And this one is a lot more blue than the previous one. But anyways, again, it's pretty rubbery, and it's got an articulation point in the jaw. It can open and close. And we'll just be setting him right there. And next up is the Therizinosaurus and Dimetrodon. Now let's start off with the Dimetrodon. And the Dimetrodon is another one of my favorites. It looks pretty decent. It's got the sculpt of the Savage Strike Dimetrodon. And also the color of the Human Pack Dimetrodon from the Alan Grant Dimetrodon Human Pack. And yeah, there's no articulation, but it's still pretty cool. And next up is the Therizinosaurus, which is not new at all. It's been featured in quite a few waves beforehand. I don't know if it's been featured in Dino Trackers at all, which it probably hasn't. But other than that, it's just pretty bare bones. And the arms can rotate a full 360, and that's about it for this figure. So we'll just be sending him and that guy over there. And next up is the Allosaurus and Dimetrodon. Now let's start off with the Allosaurus and Dilophosaurus. Sorry. Anyway, so the Dilophosaurus, it's pretty nice. It's a little bit bare bones considering because of the frills being... And the frills and crests are the only painted things and with only one color. But apart from that, it's pretty decent. It's not one of my favorites, and yeah. And next up is the Allosaurus, which they massacred my boy since the Chaotic Cargo Pack. They cheaped out on this thing and gave it less paint detail and no eye paint. But it still got the articulated mouth, so I guess that's a bonus. And we'll just be sending them right there. And next up is the Albertosaurus and the Nothosaurus. So we're going to be starting off with the Nothosaurus. Now the Nothosaurus is a relatively new figure to the line. It has been released alongside the Albertosaurus in the Dino Trackers Series 3. And it's not as bare bones as the Dilophosaurus, but it's still pretty bare bones. I mean, it's got a painted back and a painted underside and all, but a little bit of eye paint would have been nice. And now the Albertosaurus, it's not one of my favorites. It's pretty fugly, if you do ask me. One gripe I have about it is the short tail, and another gripe is the combination of colors. The green itself is fine, but with the combination of this orange and this really off-white or creamsicle color jaw, I really don't know how to describe that color. But overall, I just do not like it that much. And next up is the Atrociraptor with the Indoraptor. Now, the Atrociraptor, again, is not new at all. It's been featured in a few waves here and there, and some multi-packs, and it's just, eh. But it's still a pretty nice figure, and it actually has eye paint, unlike some minis, not naming any names. And next up is the Indoraptor, which this figure is actually relatively new for the minis, and it's actually quite new. It's been released alongside the Geosternbergia and the Epic Evolution Minis Series 1. So, that's nice. Just gotta set them down. And next up is the Stegosaurus with the Tupandactylus. Now we're going to be starting off with the Tupandactylus. And this is my least favorite mini. I really just do not understand how they thought this was okay. Now, I do applaud them for eye paint, but the points are taken away whenever you realize that this little crest or whatever it's called, that the crest and the eye paint are the only colors, and they use the same paint for the crest as the eye colors, and it's just horrible. I really do not like this thing at all. And now for the Stegosaurus, it's a little bit better. It's got the plates are colored, the tail can waggle and spin around a full 360, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So we're just going to be setting them back there. And next up we got the Lystrosaurus and Sinotyrannus. Now the Lystrosaurus, again, is not new. And needs to be phased out, because this thing is also pretty bad and ugly. Another one of my not-so-favorited minis. Not as much unfavorited as some that shall not be named over there. But, yeah. And then we got the Sinotyrannus, which is also another really new mini, which was released alongside the Sarcosuchus in the Series 1 of Epic Evolution minis. And, yeah. And it's also been released twice in the Epic Evolution minis Series 2, which I'm still pissed about that. I really do not understand how they thought that they could just release this thing twice, along with the Sarcosuchus. I mean, there was room for potential new species, but they just... I'm not even going to go on the tirade And next up we got the Sarcosuchus and Triceratops. Now the Triceratops again is not new. It was released in the first wave and hasn't really popped up too much. I think it's popped up like once or twice in the Dominion minis. This thing just like pops up every so often, but it's also been featured in a few multi-packs here and there, so your chances of getting this guy are pretty good. And once again, there's no articulation, but I actually like it. It's got a nice pose and got some nice colors. And next up is the Sarcosuchus, which there was a missed opportunity here to color it green like the original massive biter Sarcosuchus. But I mean, you get what you get, so we're going to be sending them down there. And last but not least, for the final minis to get are the Gallimimus and Suchomimus. So we're going to be starting off with the Gallimimus. And the Gallimimus is actually quite nice. Another one of my favorites, and overall just like pretty decent figure. It's all rubbery and doesn't have any articulation, and the feet are designed in a way in which it can actually stand because of how thick they are. And last but not least, we got the Suchomimus. And the Suchomimus is pretty nice as well. I actually really like the coloring on this figure. The jaw can move up and down and can even completely dislocate if you really want to. And yeah, that is basically the entirety of the Epic Evolution Series 3 minis. Now, is it disappointing? Yes. But it's not nearly as disappointing as Series 2. And overall, if you really want to, just go to your Aldi or some other location that might have them. And yeah, just specifically look for the code DO2J and you'll get the Mosasaurus. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video, and goodbye.